Man, listen, this case with Dr. Ian Roberts right here just keeps on getting complicated more and more. I'm still trying to figure out, is his PhD real? Is his associate's degree, his bachelor's degree, his master's degree real? Are his credentials real? I mean, they said that he overstayed a visa from 1999. We're in 2025. And this man has held some prestigious positions, job positions that pay well over 100, 200. And his last position that he ran into the nearby bushes from, that was being paid over $300,000 a year. You know what's crazy? What's crazy is in these comment sections, I'm starting to see our African Americans come out, the ones who think that we are separate, the ones who are up in arms about immigrants being in the country. Oh, they came to take all our jobs. I saw one comment where somebody said, this is to prove that all immigrants must go home. Send him back to Africa. This is a black African American. Send him back to Africa where he can work there. The man is not even from Africa in the first place. They come here and they take positions where African Americans are overlooked for these positions. Well, my response to that person was, well, since he is now not in that position, you go ahead and go take that position and let me see, because a PhD is required to be in that position. And do you have one, right? Whether he got it fake or not, it's a requirement to be in it. Now let's talk about him and his case. So after this illegal alien Ian Andre Roberts, the superintendent of the public school system in Iowa, was arrested by ICE, Republicans blew the whistle on the fact that he was a registered active Democrat voter in the state of Maryland. Of course, now it's going to turn into a Republican versus Democrat thing. You know what the funny thing is? Majority of the mass shootings, at 98%, are white Republican men. Right. The guy that just crashed his truck into that church, killed how many people by shooting, and then blah, 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 set it on fire. He was a starch Trump supporter. But it's funny how the narrative is flipped, because as soon as they come out to be a Republican or a Trump supporter, you will hear a twist to the narrative that they were not really that, because they got indoctrinated somewhere and they were married to somebody or living with somebody who was gay or trans, or they were sympathetic to the LGBTQ. You're not fooling anybody. Okay. I remember during the election, and you can go look this up right now on Google, just Google trans for Trump or LGBTQ for Trump, and you will see that there was a large group of trans people or LGBTQ people who organized themselves during the election for Donald Trump, to vote for Trump on the Republican ticket. So this whole Democrat versus Republican BS. But yes, they're flaunting it in the news now that he was also a registered Democrat voter. So again, this brings me to ask, how the hell was he able to be registered in so many places to where verification is required, and he was good all across the board for so many years? According to official website for the Maryland State Board of Elections, Roberts, or Dr. Roberts, who overstayed a student visa from 1999, he has a active voter status, and he is registered as a Democrat in Maryland. That development was first reported on by columnist Dustin Grage. Republican State Delegate Matt Morgan, who is chair of the Maryland House Freedom Caucus, told Fox News Digital that Roberts' registration means that he is eligible to vote in all federal, state, and local elections, despite not even being a U.S. citizen at all, not even having legal residency in the country at all. And also, despite not having lived in Maryland for the past decade, even. So more just keeps on coming out, more and more and more. Morgan explained that there is nothing in Maryland law allowing for non-citizens to be registered to vote in federal or state elections, even if Roberts were still a legal resident. He would still have to have been there for more than 10 years in order to be able to vote there. So now the House Freedom Caucus is demanding answers from the Maryland State Board of Education about gaping holes in the state's election integrity system. Yo, this is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. So, in a letter to the election board on Monday, the Freedom Caucus also demanded answers on why the board has been obstructing a valid request by the Department of Justice to ensure compliance with federal election laws, citing immigration enforcement as a primary concern. Morgan pointed to a letter that the election board sent to the Justice Department in August, in which State Administrator of Elections Jared Demarinis expressed concerns that if the board gave over voter information to the federal government, that data would be used for enforcement of immigration laws against Maryland residents. So they're not giving it over. But the board is saying they should give it over, because if they did give it over, they would have caught a person like Dr. Roberts a long time ago. So commenting on the letter, Morgan asked, he said, if illegal aliens are not allowed to vote, why would they be on the voter rolls in the first place? And how would that enhance immigration enforcement? I don't know. But that's the excuse that they wrote to the DOJ, or Department of Justice. It's ridiculous. He went on adding that everyone reasonable wants a safe and secure election everywhere. So before his arrest by ICE, Dr. Roberts headed the public schools, the largest school district in the state, despite not being legally authorized to work in the United States of America after his employment authorization card expired in 2020. So let's get this straight then. So he actually had, see, one report makes it seem like he's been illegal since 1999. But now this report this morning is saying that his employment authorization card expired in 2020. So 1999, he overstayed a visa, but for some reason, he must have worked out his situation along the way, because he had legal right to stay and work in the U.S. up until 2020, when his employment authorization card expired. You know, there might be some things wrong here, but I see things wrong on both sides, including the way how this story is being reported. Because this story is so sensationalized for views and clicks and likes and outrage and baiting. Like, we're supposed to believe that this man overstayed from 1999, but he was able to get an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and he was able to work his way into these high positions in many different places, in different locations, all while being illegal since 1999. And that is just not the case. It clearly says here that his legal authorization to work in the U.S. expired in 2020. Okay, we're in 2025. So that would mean that he was good all the way up until 2020. And that was 5 years ago. So he was taken into custody on a fugitive warrant last week, and ICE agents arrested him after he attempted to flee. They came down up on him while he was in his car or heading to his car, first report says, and he sped off. I guess he didn't want to get into a high-speed chase. So somewhere down the road, he pulled over and he ran. That's funny because he represented Guyana in the 2020 Olympics as a very fit runner. And I noticed with his suits that he used to wear to work, he was immaculately dressed. And with his suits, he always wore sneakers, running sneakers or sneakers, period. So I was laughing yesterday saying that imagine running in your three-piece suit with your hard bottom shoes off into the nearby bushes. But it turns out he was in sneakers. And I think, in Jamaica, we have a saying, when trouble take you, picnic shot fit you, or picnic boot fit you, kind of sums up that he went to the first thing he knows best, which was to run. Maybe I could run and get away from them. And he ran. And according to the report, again today, he attempted to flee, but he was found hiding in nearby bushes with the help of canine dog units. The vehicle that he was driving was the same vehicle that was given to him by the school district, and they found $3,000 in cash in that vehicle as well. They also found a hunting knife and a loaded Glock 19 pistol as well. Now, with his status not being permanent resident or citizen, he is already in illegal possession of a firearm. But there's also a report that he had illegal weapons possession charges in 2020. And that's the reason why he was given a final order of removal in 2024. But that is when they took away his work authorization in 2020. Starting to make more sense now. So he was always good to work up until 2020, when he got caught with a gun that he was not supposed to have in his possession because he was not a permanent resident or a citizen. And they took away his work permit. Then, while he was still fighting his case, he was not allowed to work. The final finding in his immigration case came in 2024, where he was told he had to leave the country. That was just last year. But he continued to work anyways. So I'm telling you, this whole story, the way it's been delivered, kind of makes it seem like, oh, he's been working for many years with no papers and no authorization to work, which is a complete lie. He was good until 2020, when some traffic stopped and he was found with a gun. I guess he's one of the kind of people who are like, I'm keeping one to protect myself because you never know what might happen. He's obviously not a criminal, so he is not out here running around robbing people, shooting at anybody, but just keep one just in case you might ever need one. Especially in the areas that he frequents. I'm not trying to excuse that he had one. I'm just trying to say that might have been the reason why he kept one. Well, he got caught with it. And they confiscated or took away his rights to work in the US in 2020, but he was still left to fight an appeal in court, which lasted another 4 years. And the final outcome of the appeal was 2024, when a deportation order was issued for him, a removal order. So between 2020 and 2024, while he was fighting his case, he continued to work knowing that he did not have legal authorization to work anymore. But he just kept going. And since nobody said anything, he didn't say anything either. And now this is where he finds himself. Now he's also facing perjury charges, weapons charges, and being illegal in the country, because if you have a order to leave and you are still here, you are now a illegal immigrant. I think I explained this to everyone before, People throw around the term illegal immigrant loosely. And a lot of people get their little panties in a bunch when you tell them that someone being in this country and being out of status is not considered illegal on its own. There is no criminal charge for someone being in this country and being out of status. Don't get mad at me. Just look at the law books. This is the reason why they can't pick these people up and take them to criminal court. The immigration court is a civil court. It is not a criminal court. The only way you become illegal is after you have committed a crime, you have been to court, you have been found guilty of an act, and also a deportation order has been placed against you, which in Dr. Roberts' case makes him the perfect fit for what they consider by the books to be illegal. The other way is after you have been deported from the United States of America, you are found back in the United States of America again. You have re-entered the country without authorization. Then you are considered to be illegal and you can be brought before a criminal court, not the immigration civil court. Just a little FYI for everybody out there. Now, Morgan also said that although Roberts' case is baffling, he fears that he may just be the tip of the iceberg when it comes to illegal aliens who are registered to vote. We have no idea how widespread this is, and we hear rumors, but we have no idea. Now, let me be really fair across the board. This isn't about black and white. This isn't about Democrat or Republican, because if it's happening on both sides. There are a lot of illegal immigrants here who are European, who do side with the Republican side of things, and they are in positions where they are registered to vote as well, and probably are voting as well illegally. So, is illegally voting wrong? Absolutely. Is it happening? Probably. And is it happening on both sides? Absolutely, if it is. I'll leave this video right here for now. Now, back to Dr. Roberts. A lot of people are saying, well, with a PhD degree, he'll be all right. He can go home, work for the government of his country, possibly even re-enter the United States of America as a diplomat. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, hell no, that would never happen. We have an example for you, and that example is called Shine, the rapper from Belize. Remember, Shine did a decade in prison for a shooting incident, and he now travels back into the United States of America on private jet as a diplomat representing his country in a fine cut three-piece suit. Okay, so never say never. We'll see where this goes from here. Stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, and for whatever follow-up we have on this story, we'll bring it to you. I'll catch you on the next video. It's SoFlo TV, your host with the most. I'm out. Peace.